Some people call these kinds of stories artificial intelligence. That's okay. Tools don't create tension. Decisions create it. Structure creates it. Obsession creates it. If you're watching, you're part of the experiment. I'm going to tell you what happened on MIRA HQ. Not the sanitized version, not the one where everyone acts reasonable. The real one. The one that started everything. There were 10 of us. 10 crewmates assigned to MIRA HQ for a standard maintenance rotation. Nobody thought it would be anything but boring. I think about that now. How wrong we all were. Let me tell you who we were. Black was our self-appointed group leader. Quiet but calculating. Always watching from doorways. Wore a teal vest and had this little hand-tied bow thing on top of his suit. He never explained it. We never asked. Then there was Purple, or as the rest of us called him, the Professor. Top hat, orange beard, even a little tuxedo. He carried himself like he already knew something the rest of us didn't. Maybe he did. Cyan had a sombrero and a handlebar mustache. Don't ask me why. No one ever asked. He was the loudest person in any room and the first to laugh, which made what happened to him later hurt more than I expected. Yellow had a little propeller beanie cap and a red shirt. She was young, newer to the crew than most of us. Nervous energy. Talked fast when she was scared. She was scared a lot that day. Green was aggressive. That's the word. She had this spiked orange mohawk and she carried a gun, which wasn't regulation, and everyone knew it and nobody said a word. You didn't tell Green what to do. White had a backwards baseball cap with a lightning bolt design, and she always had a microphone in her hand. She recorded everything. She said it was for memories. I think it was because she didn't trust anyone. Lime, the quiet one, wore a blue witch hat with an orange band. Kept to the edges of rooms. Spoke only when spoken to. Some people said she was shy. I think now she was listening. And then there was Red, the one who always got accused. The one who everyone already half blamed before anything even happened. He was dead before the first vote. Figuratively, then literally. The shift started at 0600. We all loaded into the cafeteria from the shuttle bay. 10 suits, 10 visors reflecting the same dull panel lights. Nobody talked much. That was normal. That should have stayed normal. Black called the first briefing. Task assignments. He read from the manifest without looking up. Purple, admin, yellow, medbay, cyan, comms, everyone else, you know your stations. Purple was already watching him when he said his name. I remember thinking, why admin? Admin has the door controls. Admin has the logs. Admin puts one person in a position of complete information asymmetry. Why would Black assign Purple there? The first hour was quiet. Genuinely quiet. Tasks humming along, wires being fixed, samples being scanned. For about 40 minutes, MIRA HQ felt like it was supposed to feel. Safe, functional, almost peaceful. Then White found something. She didn't report it over comms. She just started walking, fast, toward the cafeteria. And White never walks fast. I noticed that. Green noticed it too. I saw Green's hand move toward her gun. White called an emergency meeting. The button hit and the alarm blared and all 10 of us came running from our stations to the cafeteria table. And that's when I first noticed. Purple was already seated, like he'd been waiting. White. Someone went into the vent in storage. I saw the panel moving. I didn't see who came out. The room went cold. Not the air, the people. You could feel it. 10 suits all recalibrating who they trusted. Cyan. A vent? In storage? That vent opens near admin, near where Purple was. Cyan said it like it was nothing. Like he was just reading a map. But everyone heard the weight in it. Purple. I was at my station, the entire time. You can check the door logs. Cool. Controlled. That's what made me uncomfortable. When people are accused, they usually panic. Purple just adjusted his top hat and waited. Black checked the logs. He was the only one with direct access. He took a long time, longer than it should have taken. When he looked up, his expression hadn't changed at all. That's when I started watching Black. Black. Logs show Purple's door open the whole time. He didn't leave admin. First exhale. Half the room breathed out, but not Green. Green kept her hand where it was. We voted, or tried to. Yellow voted to skip. Lime voted to skip. The rest were scattered, 1 or 2 on Cayenne of all people for bringing it up. We skipped the vote, and nothing was resolved. That was the first mistake. Here's what nobody tells you about skipping. It doesn't make you safer. It just gives the killer more time. And we just handed them the most valuable thing they could ask for. A clean record. People drifted back to tasks. The nervous kind of task doing, where you keep looking over your shoulder at every footstep. Yellow stuck close to Cyan. Green walked alone. Purple went back to admin. I ended up in the greenhouse, upper level, the one with the oxygen filters. And I heard something behind me. Footsteps that stopped. The kind of stop that means someone didn't want to be heard. I turned around. It was Black. He was standing in the doorway, just watching me. Not doing a task, not moving, just watching. He said, "Just checking the filters." There are no filters in that doorway. I started moving faster after that. Finished my tasks, tried to stay near groups. But MIRA HQ isn't built for group comfort. The hallways are narrow, the rooms are isolated. It's built for efficiency, not survival. Then the oxygen alarm hit. The whole station shuddered. Red emergency lights. The familiar sick feeling when you realize the air supply is failing and you have 60 seconds to fix it. 2 panels. 2 people needed. Split station fix, which means everyone scatters, which means everyone separates, which is exactly what you do when you want someone to disappear. Cyan and Purple went left. Green and White went right. Yellow went with Black. I remember thinking that was strange. Yellow never voluntarily went anywhere with Black after the meeting. But she went, and I went alone. We got it. Barely. The panels beeped green at 44 seconds. Air came back, and we all walked back toward the cafeteria, breathing hard. And that's when I counted. 9. There were 9 of us walking back, not 10. Red was in the storage room. Visor cracked. The room was silent except for the ventilation hum. And there, 2 feet from the body, the vent panel was slightly ajar. The same one White had seen moving. White found him. Of course it was White. She had her microphone up before she'd even finished processing what she was looking at. She recorded the body. She recorded everything. Second emergency meeting. This one felt different. The first meeting was tense. This one was electric. Someone in that room had just killed Red, and we all knew it. And we were all sitting 6 feet from each other. Green. The vent in storage. I've been saying it since the first meeting. Whoever's using those vents, they killed Red. And the vent in storage goes straight to admin. She didn't say Purple's name. She didn't have to. Purple. I was in admin. The logs confirmed it. Do we not remember that conversation? Or are we already forgetting? That phrase. Are we already forgetting? I wrote that in my head. He said it too smoothly, like he'd prepared for this moment. Black. Then who was with Red? Who last saw Red? Silence. The specific kind of silence where everyone is calculating whether answering makes them look guilty. Yellow. I was with Black during the oxygen fix. I can vouch for him, but I don't know where Red went. Yellow's voice cracked on that last word. Cracked in a way that could mean fear, or guilt, or both. Then Lime spoke. First time Lime had spoken in an emergency meeting. Everyone turned to look at her. She had this way of holding herself very still when she spoke, like the words cost her something. Lime. I saw Black near storage, before the oxygen alarm. He wasn't doing a task. He was standing near the vent. The room changed. I felt it physically. The air pressure shifted as everyone recalibrated. Black. That's a lie. I was with Yellow. You just heard Yellow say it. Fast. Too fast. He answered before anyone else could speak, like he'd been waiting for exactly that accusation. We voted. 4 votes on Black, 3 on Purple, 2 skips, 1 vote, A single, inexplicable vote. On cyan. Not enough for ejection on either. We skipped again. 2 skipped votes in a row. We were getting people killed by committee. After the vote, the group fractured. Not in a dramatic way, just people started choosing who they walked next to, and who they kept between themselves and the walls. Purple pulled cyan and lime toward the lab. I heard him say something about coordinating tasks, but then I saw Purple glance back at Black, just once, and there was nothing academic in that glance. Black took yellow and green toward the reactor. Green didn't look happy about it. She never looked happy about following anyone's lead. But she went, and she kept her hand on that gun. White stayed in the cafeteria, alone, recording. She said she was documenting evidence. I asked her what evidence. She said, everything. And she looked at me like I was already a ghost. I went back to the greenhouse. I told myself it was to finish my tasks, but really I wanted to be somewhere I could see both hallways. I needed sightlines. I needed to see who went where. I heard it before I saw anything. Not a sound from the victim, just a vent panel snapping shut. Then silence. Then the communication alarm. Then Cyan's voice, but different. Hollow. Lime was dead. The lab. Same positioning as Red, near a vent access. Her witch hat was still on. That was the part that stayed with me. Her hat was still on, perfectly straight, like the kill had been clean and deliberate and fast. 8 of us in the cafeteria. 3rd meeting. And now everyone was screaming, not with their voices, with their eyes. Every pair of eyes in that room was an accusation looking for somewhere to land. Cyan. She said she saw Black near the vent, and now she's dead. You tell me what that means. Cyan's sombrero looked wrong somehow. Everything looked wrong. Nothing looked like it was supposed to. Black. I was in the reactor with yellow and green. I have 2 witnesses. Purple has 0. And there it was. The counter-accusation. The chess move. Black had been waiting to play it. Purple. Lime accused Black. And now Lime is dead. That's your evidence right there. Not mine. Purple sat back down after that. Calm. Like he'd just finished a crossword puzzle. 5 votes on Black, 2 on Purple. 1 skip. 5 was enough. And for a moment, just a moment, I thought we had him. I thought it was over. Black was ejected into space. He didn't say anything. He just looked at Purple as they closed the hatch. Just looked. And Purple tilted his hat ever so slightly. Like a goodbye. Like something was finished. The system confirmed it. Black was not the imposter. The screen said it. We all read it. 7 crewmates left. 1 imposter remaining. And Purple was still sitting at that table, perfectly composed like he hadn't heard a word. We had ejected the wrong person. 7 of us left. 1 imposter hidden among them. And everyone who might have known anything, Lime, Red, was gone. And the one person I kept looking at wouldn't stop looking at me back. Here's what changed in me after that ejection. I stopped thinking about who the imposter was. I started thinking about who was steering us toward wrong answers. Those are not the same question. They're not even close to the same question. White still had her microphone. She was recording when I passed her in the hall. And she leaned close and whispered something I haven't been able to stop thinking about. She said, "Purple's been right every time. But he's been right because he knows the answer. Not because he's figuring it out."